On how to make a water bottle with a little lid on it. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new part studio here. Um, you will just go open up a new document. So we're going to go to the front and we're going to do a sketch and select the front face. And we're going to draw a basic shape of a water bottle from the origin. So I'm going to do lines, pretty much straight lines here. So that can go over to maybe about there. And up, a nice tall water bottle, nice straight line, maybe about like that. This can come over maybe about like that. I don't know, about like that. And then we'll go in a little bit and then up, not too high. And then I'm going to go over to that midline. So I'm going to hover across that, right? And hover across there, find that midpoint and straight down. Bada boom. All right, and we got a nice shape there, and we're going to go ahead and do a revolve, and so let's see if we like the way it works. So that is our basic water bottle. It's a little bit wide. I don't love that. I'm going to go back into my sketch. I'm going to try to make this a little better. I don't love that. So let me go make a few. Oops. Oopsie. Let me go. No. No. Front. Okay. It's a little bit, maybe a little wide. So I'm going to take a straight line. Work on this sketch some more. Actually, I'm going to edit. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to edit the sketch. Edit. Okay. And I'll go and I'll make this just a little bit thinner. Not like that. And then I'll cut this away and that away. Get rid of that point. Get rid of that one. And see if I like that any better. Let's revolve that around this axis. Yeah, I like that a little better. All right, cool. So there we go. And then maybe I'll do a little fletting on this. And let's see here. I'm going to say yes to that. I'm going to fillet this edge just a little bit and smooth it out. Let's see. About right about there. I like that. And I think I'm going to say yes on that. And I'm going to fillet this edge as well, just a bit. How do I want to do it? That looks a little weird. I'll try that. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. I'll check that. Okay. Now I'm going to put a cap on this thing. So I'm going to face it from the front, and I'm going to do a new sketch directly on the front of this. And I'm going to draw it right on top of here. So I'm going to, there we go. All right, so I want to be right down this midline here. So I'm going to, wait, select a plane. I thought I did. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to hover right on this thing so I come straight up off of this line. Okay, so I know I want to be right in the middle of that. So that's the midpoint, right? So I'm going to, actually I'm just going to draw lines straight up that I can delete later. So I know what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm going to complete my cap. I'm going to draw a straight line. Line tool. I'll go here to that, here to that, hover on that line, and straight across. Okay, and I've got that. And now I'm going to cut away what I don't want, which is I don't want that anymore, or that dot. Okay, now I've got this surface. I'm going to go ahead and complete that sketch. This part here, which is my water bottle, I'm going to hide this part away. And then this I'm going to revolve. So I'm going to revolve that around this axis, and I get that. And I can deal with this color while I have it. So I'm going to, my water bottle is still there, right? But I'm going to, I don't want to expose it yet. I'm just going to work with part 2. So I'm going to select this part, and I'm going to make this, make this like a nice black color. And I'll say, yeah. And now I can unhide my water bottle, and maybe I'll hide the cap. And this part, I'll select all this, and I'll make this a bright, oh, let's see, I'll go with a bright blue water bottle. That's a little crazy blue. Maybe I'll do something a little bit more subtle. Not quite that crazy blue. How about something like, I don't know, like that maybe? That's still the same. Oh well. You get the idea. And there's my water bottle. I'm going to go ahead and hide these faces. And there it is. Cool little water bottle there. This is my original. And this is my new one. That cap is maybe a little bit big, but you get the idea. All right. That's how you make a water bottle. Okay, now we're going to try to make a couple of chess pieces here. We're going to make a king and we're going to make a queen. I don't love how this queen turned out, but you get the idea and you can fiddle around with it. So we'll start with the king first. So basic kind of shape with the cross on the top. Let's do it. So we're going to do a sketch on the front face. So we'll click on front and we'll do a sketch on the front face. And we can get rid of all of these axes if we want to. Might as well. I'm going to hide all of them here. And actually, I'm going to keep the front face visible. Okay, so let's do it. Start with a line. I'm going to come off the origin. And I'm going to go over about like that. I'm not really going to worry about the scale of this right now. I'm just going to kind of do it for look. Double click to end that. I'm going to do a tangent arc and like that to create a little rounded edge. And then I'll do a spline, I guess. I'll do a spline to go from here, maybe up around. I don't want to go too far in, so I don't want to be all the way into the center. I'm going to come off the center a little bit. So maybe right about there, and spline a little bit up, maybe about like that. And double click to place that. Tap, tap. And then I'll do a straight line that kind of comes off straight out like that. Kind of like that. Double click to end that. I'll do a tangent arc again. I like that rounded shape. Double click on that, escape. And then I'll do another straight line back to kind of where I was here. And then I'm going to do a straight line that goes out, kind of maybe about like that. And I don't want to come all the way into the center. So I'm going to come off that center line a little bit. See that center line? I want to come back off that center line to create this cross. So I'm going to go up, over, and just kind of eyeball this cross here a little bit. Da-da-da. Back to here. Up to there. And then I do want to find that midpoint. See that line? That's going to eventually get me back down. So I want to be straight from there, and I want to come straight down to complete the shape. And it should close off like that. And now I'm going to revolve it and take a look at it. I'll revolve it around this axis, and that is the general shape of my king. It's a little thin right there, but you get the idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. Definitely a little too thin on that little edge there. If I could go back and make an adjustment on that. But there it is. And maybe you decide, you don't need to see the front anymore, and you can select the whole thing and give it a color. I'll give this I'll make this a black king. Okay, there you go. So there it is. There's the king. All right, let's see if we can do the queen. The queen's a little bit more complicated, but not too much more. We do want to make sure that it's flat on the top so we can do those little carve outs. Okay, so here goes. The queen. I'm going to create a new one here just so that I can do it in a fresh screen. Okay, so this is the queen. So we're going to start with the base of the queen here. So I'm going to go to a sketch, and I'm going to sketch it on the front face. And I'm going to start with, front face. And then I'll start with my line again right off the origin here. I'll just make sure I'm starting. I'll start on the origin. Why not? Make it easy. Go to that. And I'm going to double click there. I'm going to do the same basic kind of concept, tangent arc like that. And then I'll do the spline going up. Oh, this queen's going to look a little different. Oh well. Okay, there's the queen. And double click there. All right, and now maybe a little bit shorter than I want, but we'll go ahead and go out a bit like that. And then I'll double click on it. Oops, escape. Let me go back one. All right, and now I'll do a tangent arc again here, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and come up on a kind of an angle like that. And then I want this queen to be flat on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and go up, double click. I'm going to do a tangent arc again here. And then I'm going to draw it flat on the top here. Straight across to my midpoint, find my midpoint, hover across it, make sure I'm straight down, and there. Okay, that's going to look weird, but let's see what happens. I revolve it, and I'll revolve it around this axis, and I have that. That's a very weird looking queen. Okay, I am going to try to make a couple of adjustments here. So I'm going to first select this. I'm going to extrude this up because it's just a little short. I'm going to extrude it up maybe about like that. Okay, that's a little thicker on the top. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to cut out some little round circles on here. And this is where, I don't know, this gets a little bit weird. So I'm going to click on this flat top and I'm going to do a sketch on that surface here. So let's go to top and I want to sketch right on the surface of this thing. So I'm going to try, let's see if a tangent arc would work. It doesn't. All right, so I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw a circle right, come on now, right there. And I'm just going to kind of cut into that. Actually, let's escape. I think I want my circle on that edge. Maybe that's what I want to do. So I'm going to go like that. I'm going to draw a circle on that edge like that. Put one there. I'm going to put another circle on that edge like that. And I should be doing the radius of these exactly the same. But I'm feeling lazy, so I'm just going to but I'm going to start each one on, maybe I can squeeze in two here. Yeah. Okay. This is not perfect, but you get the idea. Put one there. I'll put one there. I'll put one there. I'll put one there. And I'll put one here. And I'll put one here. All right, I got all these circles. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to check that as good. I'm going to select all of these surfaces. So shift click, 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 click. It's cut it in half because it's got a line through it. So I got to be careful about my selecting here. That half and that half and that half and that half. Hold down the shift key and get everything. Ah. Oh, brother. No, there you go. That one, that one, that one, that one, and it looks like I missed that one. Okay, I think I got them all. All right, now I'm going to extrude that as a remove. And I don't want to remove too much, so I can drag this a little bit. I just want to remove enough to kind of carve it through. Let's see what it would look like if it went to there. I'm going to go right to that. Or maybe I go down. Yeah, well, I can play around with this, but I'm going to see what it looks like if I just extrude right to that, onto that floor there. Let's try that and see how it looks. Check. And it looks like that. That does not look like a great queen. So, fiddle around with it. This was my first attempt. Maybe I like that a little better. And this is my second attempt, which is the queen. Looks like it's got a gear on top, but you can play around with ideas here and see what you can work with. Maybe if I extrude this down, it'll look like a little better. I don't know. Try that and see if I like it. No. Let's try it one more time. Extrude that down and get rid of a little bit. Does not like it. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Well, I'll leave it to you to fiddle around with it, but hopefully you get the idea.